It may surprise you how much your home's condition affects your financial outcomes.
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward together with the Dekker team.
We are honored to welcome you to another episode of Life's Inside Track. And I'm Yetta Dekker.
And I'm Ken Dekker.
And it's where we get to share tips, thoughts, techniques, tools, and tactics that really position you and guide you to build wealth wisely through real estate and so much more in life. Ken, it is fascinating to me. Mm-hmm. And it might be fascinating to you if you're listening or you're watching on Life's Inside Track that the condition of our home, the condition of your home, actually changes how much money is in your bank account.
Well, it does in two ways, actually. There was a Harvard Business Review, and it said that homes that were poorly maintained and cluttered would actually cost 5 to 15% off the value when they go to sell.
So let's put that in context for a minute. Mm-hmm. We have $1 million home, and it's just easier for me to do that math, although our average home in Ottawa is over $700,000, I believe, right now. Mm-hmm. But let's just use $1 million home. There's lots of those out there now. If we're talking 5%, we're talking $50,000. Mm-hmm. And if we're talking 15%, we're talking $150,000.
Yeah.
So instead of the home potentially selling for $1 million, it's now down to $850,000 potentially. Yeah. And we've seen it again and again and again, like way too many times have we seen that reality.
What's interesting is you might be saying, oh, but I'm not thinking of selling, so it doesn't matter. But there's a hidden truth there that other financial decisions you're making are cluttered and maybe delayed or not made at all or made poorly because your environment, what your home looks like, how cluttered it is, how messy it is, how dirty it is, will actually clutter your mind.
And therefore cause you to make inferior or no decisions at all, which no decision at all is a decision. And it may even cause you to stop maintaining the home to a greater degree. Mm-hmm. And now there's more repairs to be done on the house that could have been handled with a minor expense. Like let's talk our roof for a minute. Mm-hmm. Our shingles are getting older. Mm-hmm. And we have the low profile vents on our roof because at the time that's what was used. Mm-hmm. It's a high pitch roof. We're already, I would say, we have heavy duty shingles. However, we're still on borrowed time already with our shingles. Yes. But how we've been able to do it is every year or every 2 years, we have our roofing contractor come and he does a walkabout. And he finds what's deteriorating and he replaces it with the identical color shingle. It's not all patched and looking nasty. He replaces the ridge part of the roof where it curls the most, and he takes care of whatever is loose. Usually he does it routinely and proactively, and occasionally he's had to come because we've had a heavy gust of wind that's lifted a few shingles and they're on the ground. And so we know that where there's one little problem, even though we got no water in the house yet, there's probably another problem. And we're right now choosing to spend what I think is a significant amount of money on replacing the low profile vents. Mm-hmm. And there's a way to do it that will cost us about half of what we could spend right now. But if we do that, then the roof it's not going to slow down the deterioration of the roof sufficiently, and we're going to be replacing it sooner. So if our environment was chaotic and there was no room to think about it, we would just leave it alone.
Yeah.
Right? We would just not bother with it.
It's not leaking.
It's not leaking. There's no real issues. There's not significant curling. There's just a little bit on the ridge vent. And it was making me crazy because we like to maintain what we can maintain, and we can see it because there's not a ton of clutter.
Yeah. And what's interesting is it'll cost us a few $1,000s.
Extra.
Yeah. And some of that money will be saved when we do change the shingles, because we would have had to upgrade to the higher max roof vents anyways.
To get longer out of the next roof.
Right. And so it's just prolonging the life of our existing shingles and then allowing us to delay, because when you delay doing something and I'm saying delay it with care, so we're not going to have a leaking roof, but we're going to have a better quality roof now that will actually cost less to heat and cost less to cool because it'll have better ventilation and may not ice dam. But what's going to happen is if we delay putting our new roof on for new shingles, I call it roof because roof is the whole structure, change the shingles 5 years later, that means that they are going to last 5 years longer because they were put on 5 years later, right?
Right.
So
and then maybe the technology is better and maybe pricing is a little bit more. We don't know, but we've kept that money in our bank account for an extra 5 years and waited for technology to catch up to the next phase of what's going to be out there.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe we'll do metal. Maybe they'll have lifelong shingles. Now they're bringing out all kinds of different things. So the point is, when you have space and you have clarity, you can look at things in a different way that can save you future money.
Right. And when your environment doesn't support you, which is really what the point of this entire episode is that your environment vitality in your home sets the stage to either lose money or make money.
Yeah. So if you're looking at you have lack of clarity in decisions, maybe look around at your environment, either in the office or in your home, and see if it's cluttered, because a cluttered environment contributes to a cluttered mind, which doesn't have clarity to make great decisions.
And if you're thinking, Ken and Yetta, you talk about building wealth wisely through real estate every time you open your mouth. And that's about true. And if you're thinking, well, I might be interested in learning a little bit more. And maybe you've already been out to a Building Wealth Wisely workshop. We've got people that have just come out to their fourth one. And then she said to me, I was actually at another one when you were doing a different series back about a decade ago. My husband brought me. And so this is really 5 I've been at. And she goes, every time I come, I learn something. And you can bring your youth, 15 to 21. And if you have a really mature youth that's younger than that, know that we're going to let them in, because her kids are both younger than that. And they walked away with amazing insights at the last Building Wealth Wisely workshop. The next one's October 8th. There is no cost for kids to come or youth to come with the purchase of an adult ticket, which is only $47. So just go to deckerteam.com if you'd like some clarity about how to build wealth wisely through real estate.
We once walked into a house. You remember that, Yetta? It was a buyer.
Yeah.
And it was the right house.
It was perfect.
It had all the right floor plan, the right condition. Well, when I say condition, right maintenance, it was in the right location. And our buyer could not overlook the cleanliness and the clutter that was in the house.
The abundance of what was there to see.
It had too much stuff for the size of the house. And therefore, they couldn't make a buying decision. And we watched that property, and they actually got $40,000 less than they could have if it had been properly decluttered and ready to put on the market.
I know.
Yeah.
Sad.
But even a pristine home can't overcome poor decisions if you're running on empty. And so in our next section, we're going to talk about your own vitality matters just as much as your home's vitality. And we're honored to be guiding you to build wealth wisely, because it's about much more than just money.
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward together.